What is up, guys, and welcome back to our Boston Bruins franchise mode series here at Dreams Gaming. I feel like we had a pretty good draft period, and we made a trade for someone that can hopefully help out our defensive core in Julius Honka. Hopefully that should be able to propel us to the Stanley Cup. That's probably the only big move we're going to make between this year's team and last year's team. And the reason for that is we were still pretty damn good last season. We made the conference finals. We lost to the Habs again, but it's not like we snuck into the playoffs and just laid down in the first round or anything. So I mean, I don't really know what to do other than I talked about it last video. The two main objectives of this off season are to solidify our defense, because that might be a little bit of a weak point, and then see if getting like a real fourth line helps. So like grinders with good physical, good skating, and good defense. We'll see if that kind of player can shit. As I dropped my phone into my computer, that's what I wanted. So see if that. Oh my god, dropped it again. See if we can get a real fourth line, and see if that affects the simulation at all. And the first move I'm gonna make, I'm gonna move out a little bit of cap space, because one guy in particular. Well, actually, I should say we don't really have a third line center as of right now. We have a couple of prospect centers that that might be NHL ready, but I don't feel comfortable throwing them on the third line just yet. I mean, they could jump a little bit in the off season, who knows? But I don't want to count on it. The first one being JFK here, as an 82 overall. I mean, if you look at his stats, they're pretty decent, but I don't think he has good enough of an offensive category to be on a third line, especially with who we're going to have on the wings. Let's go look at that really quick. So our third line is going to be composed of... Okay, so the first line is going to be these top three guys. Maybe Marchand and Nicky might switch, but that's the point there, is these top five guys, as well as Alexander Winberg, are going to be our top six. So our third line wingers are probably going to be like Fiala and Pavelski. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with DeBrusk just yet. I might just trade away Pavelski a little bit into the season and then put DeBrusk in the third line. I'm not sure yet, but the point is it's going to be guys like Fiala and Pavelski on the third line wing. So it's really more of a scoring line. And here's Fiala's stats, and then I'll show you Pavelski's. So it's going to be more of a scoring line, more offensive minded. So I want a guy with pretty good offensive stats. And JFK is not bad. Pretty good defensively, really good skater, decent shot, and decent offense, but it's nothing spectacular. I might even throw him on the fourth line this season, but I'm not 100% sure about that just yet. We'll find out later. And then another guy is Rupe Heinz down here. He's got really good offense, but with a 2-star defense, and I just don't feel comfortable putting him in a NHL role just yet, just because his defense is so low. Yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much the only two guys that could compete for a third line spot right now. I mean, we got a bunch of these guys in this range, but I don't feel like any of them will see enough of a jump. I mean, Olsen, he's got a 90 offensive awareness, but as a grinder, he only has 2.5-star defense and 3-star physical. That's not good enough, I don't think. So trying to get a third line center is something that we're shooting for, and actually have a trade in mind. And he's also somewhat of a young player too, so he could grow and maybe one day run the second line if Winberg grows a little bit and he can run the first line. Who knows? But the guy we are trading away is going to be Oliver Bjorkstrand, and the reason for that is, I mean, he didn't perform too well this past season. 25 points, minus 18, and he'd be relegated to like a fourth line role, and he's just not suited for a fourth line role. So we're going to ship him out, and he is going to the Carolina Hurricanes for Alexei Saarela down here. The Finn, he is 23 years old, 82 overall, but if you look at his stats, they're pretty damn good. Offensive awareness of 94, passing 86, and he's not bad defensively with the 84 defensive awareness. Not the best center, only 70 faceoffs, but I'm gonna have to live with it. Only a 3-star physical, but 4.5-star skating is not too bad. Actually, I'm going to see if... I think Pavelski might be able to take face-offs, actually. Pavelski is 85 faceoffs, so he can actually play center. And then, well, now that I think about it, I could just put DeBrusque and Fiala on the wings, and then Pavelski. But we still need to do something with Bjorkstrand. So maybe we have our top 9 already. I don't know. I didn't think about this when I went in here and looked at this trade earlier for Sorella. We might not even need him. At the same time, he could be a 4th line player. He is a 2-way forward, does have pretty good defense. Skating's pretty damn good as well. Only a 3-star physical though. And the 3-star defense is 3 stars, but the 84 defensive awareness is pretty good. So on second thought, I'm going to spend a little bit more time and try to figure out a trade. And I'm actually going to do this off screen because I have no idea how long it's going to take, and I do not really know what I'm looking for. So I'll be right back, and I will show you guys who I'm going to trade for. Alright boys, we are back, and the guy we will be trading for is on the San Jose Sharks. Before we get there, I took a long, hard look at one David Backes. I very strongly considered bringing him back to the Bruins to play as our 4th line center, and the reason I did that was 5-star physical, 4-star defense, 84 faceoffs, fantastic in the faceoff circle. Only a 4-star skating, but I mean you can look over that. And not a terrible contract. I mean 3 years, but his role is a 2nd line forward, and I don't know if 4th line minutes and like top pairing or top penalty kill unit minutes would be enough. And his trade value is pretty high, so I might not even get this 1-for-1. I might have to throw in a little bit, so I decided to look elsewhere, and we're going to the San Jose Sharks, and the guy we're going to try to bring in is Martin Hanzal. Alright, so Martin Hanzal is going to be on the Bruins, and if you look at his stats, he is listed as a 3rd checking line forward, but he's even better defensively than Backes, so he could easily play top unit penalty kill minutes. 4.5-star physical, 4-star skating, pretty good offensive ratings too, so he could probably put up some points on the 4th line. 40-point season last year. Minus 16, but it's probably because the Sharks are rebuilders, so they're pretty bad. And since Bjorkstrand's worth quite a bit more than Hanzal, let me look at his contract really quick. I'll show you guys that. Less than $2 million for 2 years, and if he's going to be a penalty killer and a solid 4th line guy, I don't mind that cap hit. No biggie. We're not going to find anyone as good as Hanzal in free agency. So, since Bjorkstrand's worth more, I'm going to go look at the trade value here. And we're going to try to bring somebody in defensively to pair on our bottom pairing with Brandon Carlo. I'm going to try to get Mirko Mueller. The reason is he's a lefty, a little bit more defensive minded, but so is Brandon Carlo. And I mean, I think those two guys together on a 3rd pairing wouldn't allow too many goals. And if I can't get anything to go through for Mueller without giving up too much, I will also look at Julius Bergman here. Yeah, it is Julius. I was concerned about that for a second. He's a little bit worse than Mueller overall. He's a really good skater. 4.5-star defense is not bad. His offense isn't really there. He's also a 2-way defender, though. 3 years at a little bit less than $3 million, and the contract Mueller's on is about 4.5 for 2 years. So not the best contract for Mueller, but I'm all in right now. And if we get this trade to go through, we won't be signing anyone in free agency most likely, so we don't really need any more cap space. And to get this to try to go through, I'm going to throw in the only goaltender they're looking for on our team, and that's rejected. The value you are sending our way isn't sufficient at all. And they're only looking for NHL forwards in terms of guys with actual trade value, other than like DJ Jerome and our 1st round pick from last season, Lundmark. I'm going to see if they want any draft picks. Oh, they do. Okay, so we can throw them our 3rd round pick, and that should go through. Let's see if we can get a little bit in return. Throw on a 5th from San Jose, and that didn't go through. It'll go through like this. The value is just a bit low for us, so we'll turn this, our 3rd round pick, make it the Capitals' 3rd round pick. And since it's just a bit low, let's see if we can get something back from the Sharks. Nope. Alright, let's just see if this will go through as is. And it does. So We got Hansel there to go on our fourth line and our top penalty kill, and we got Mueller, an 84 overall defenseman who, based on morale, he might actually be 85. Would be just a great third pairing guy for us. And all it took was Bjorkstrand, who was relegated down to like a fourth line role anyways as a skilled guy. Didn't really fit there, and his $4 million contract, an unsigned goaltending prospect, and the Capitals' third-round pick. So I feel like that's going to really shore up our team this season. And let's take a look at what our lines might look like before we call it an off season. So our forwards, sort this by overall. All right, so here's our forwards. A top six of Pasta, Marshy, Berge, Nicky, Hosang, and Winberg. That's our top six. Pretty interchangeable, except for Winberg is going to be our second line center. But everyone else depends on their growth or regression or things like that as to what I do with them. The third line is going to be Pavelski in the center, Fiala and DeBrusque as his wingers. Then the fourth line is going to be Martin Hansel and Zach Hyman. And then it's really going to depend on what JFK looks like. I might put him there. Could call up somebody like Heinen or Olsen. Or we could just wait until the season starts to look at progressions and then go try to sign a guy that can fill a fourth line role. Or we have $2.5 million. There's one guy that I was looking at in free agency that really seems like a good fourth liner, so we might just go get him instead. Defensively, we got Vlasic and Honka as our top pairing. Brodin and McAvoy, more than likely, as our second pairing. Really, it's going to depend on whoever grows more out of McAvoy and Carlo, and if either of them jump up to a top four role as to which of them I place on the second line, but it's probably going to be McAvoy. We want him with that medium elite potential to grow some, and then Mirko Mueller and Brandon Carlo on the third pairing. So I'm not fucking around this season. We're going for the fucking cup. And we're going to win it. If we don't win it, I'm going to be really pissed, and I'm going to make some big changes. So Rask, 33 years old, 90 overall. I don't know what to do with him in the offseason. It depends on what he's going to ask for in terms of money, but let's get there first before we start considering those options with Bernier as his backup. So I'm pretty happy with the way our team looks. I'm going to check out that guy in free agency that I was thinking about, and then instead of him, or I might put him in the lineup instead of Zach Hyman. It all just depends. So we were looking at forwards, and forget exactly who it was. So let's just take a look here. Antoine Roussel, that's who it was. So Roussel's asking for nearly $2 million, but if you look at his stats, he's a fourth line role guy, grinder, 4.5-star physical, 4-star skating. His defense is in the 80s, so that's not bad. And with the guys he's playing with, somewhere like Hansel, we can afford to have a winger that's not as good in the defensive awareness category. And if you look at the rest of his stats, his offense, 4.5-star puck skills, low 80s offense, and then a pretty good shot, 4-star shot. Looking at his stats, I mean, he's not been bad. 33 points last season, plus 11. I feel like he would be a really good addition for us, so I'm going to try to sign him. And I'm going to see if I can get him for 1 year, $2 million. Then I'm going to take a look at the prospects out there. See if there's anybody I might want to sign. Smoskowitz, maybe. What draft pick was he? A second-round pick for the Coyotes in the year 2 draft. They just let him go to free agency for nothing in return. We could try to get this Niku guy, but he's kind of old in terms of at least where his overall is. So I'm not too excited by the prospects of that. Not really much else here. I'm just going to check the high AHL guys really quick. Is any high 7th D? Nope, just one. He is not going to do it for us. Let's look at the high AHL top 6. Nothing really there. Nothing too exciting, I don't believe. Nope. Let's go look at the high top 2 defense. Really quick. Alright. No. Nothing there either. So a pretty weak year overall for prospects that are available. As Subban is right there. We're not interested in your Subban-ness. That was really shitty. I apologize. Goaltending. We're not interested in signing a backup. Bernier is pretty good for us, and I'll be happy with him. But we're always looking to sign prospects, but there are none here this go around, it looks like. High AHL, nope, okay. And then just look at the overall really quick. Yeah, so Mrazek would be the only guy that would be an upgrade, but we're not going to pay $5 million for a 1-point overall upgrade for our backup goaltender. No, thank you. So, not a big year for free agency for us, but a pretty big year in terms of trades, or a pretty big offseason in terms of trades. Brought in an 84 and an 88 overall defenseman, Martin Hansel, and really short up that fourth line and our defensive core. So that's what I came into this offseason looking to do, and I believe I have done it. So we are good to go. As long as Broseph signs Antoine Roussel. I forgot who it was for a second. Okay, Roussel is on the Boston Bruins. So we're going to go to the next season, and we're going to look at some player progressions, see if anybody makes any jumps and makes me make a decision. And then we're going to look at our lines and what they're going to look like. Going to probably set those, and then we'll call it a video. I feel like it's a pretty productive offseason. We came really close to the ultimate goal last season, and we made a couple of moves this offseason, hopefully to improve. No major changes, but I feel like no major changes in terms of we didn't ship anybody out that's like a top 6 guy or anything. We did make one major acquisition in Honka. Well, I take it back. We did trade a top 6 guy in Kyle Turris, but we replaced him with 85 overall Winberg, who arguably played better than Turris last season, is going to be the second line guy. Pavelski is going to be the third line guy. So not really a big change, I would say, from that perspective. But we did upgrade our defense quite a bit. Had a couple of 81 overalls on our third pairing. Now we're going to have 2 84 overalls, barring off-season progression and a high 80 guy to go alongside of Vlasic. Alright, so we're here at the new season. I'm going to take a sip of water before I get into it. Alright. Yeah, so let's just get right into it and see what the roster is going to look like. Check out any progression from our players. So in terms of forwards, Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak still all 88s. Ho-Sang 87. Pavelski did drop down to an 83. So let's see what happened to him. That might make us make a change, but I don't think so. Still third scoring line forward. His offense is still really damn good. Still a 4-star skater. Still can take face-offs. 4-star defense. His physical is kind of low with 3 stars, but I feel like Pavelski's probably as good as we're going to get in terms of a third line center, especially with the cap hit that we have, or the cap space that we have. Roussel did drop down to an 80. He was an 82. Is that a little bit morale-based? Maybe. His overall might go up as the season goes along, but he's still got the 4-star physical, which is the reason we signed him, and the 4-star skating. And his defense regressed a little bit, but I feel like that's morale-based because he is 30 years old. So hopefully, as the season goes along and as we get into it, he will increase in overall. So let's check out Nicky. Nicky jumped up to an 89 overall. So there's a look at his stats. He is probably going to be on the first line. We'll move Marchand down to the second line. That's pretty crazy to think about. But yeah, so that was a huge pickup last season for us. And he's the only guy that's listed as a first line role on our team. So first line is going to be Nicky, Bergeron, Pastrnak. Second line, Marchand, Winberg, Ho-Sang. Feel like that's probably one of the best top 6s in the league. And a third line is going to be pretty damn good as well. DeBrusque jumped up 1 overall point. That's what he looks like at this point. So let's go take a look at our defense now, as our forwards are set. I'm just going to look at these guys' progressions. Nothing really jumping out here. I mean, Heinz stayed at a 78. That's kind of unfortunate. I really wish he would grow. We're probably going to make him the first line center in the AHL this season and see if that changes anything. It's been JFK for the past few years, but he has made the jump to the NHL. So we will leave Heinz in the AHL. So looking at our defense, what do we have here? Okay, pretty much nothing. Vlasic did go down to an 89, I think from a 90 last season. But if you look at his stats, still got the 5-star defense, still got the high to mid 80s offensive stats. So nothing too concerning there from Vlasic. Honka did not grow any, but we didn't really expect that. Still an 88 overall. Rodin 87, and then McAvoy and Carlo are both 84s. And then Mueller is also an 84, but he's listed as a top 4 role defenseman. So I'm not sure what to do with him. I guess we could give him penalty kill time. Instead of with 86, 87, 85, put him on the penalty kill instead of Honka, who has 87, 88, 87, and then leave him on the third pairing. I don't know. And then Carlo and McAvoy are still 84s. So, okay. And then Fleury and Grizzly are both top 6 role guys, so we're going to have to move them out. And Joe Morrow's still an 81. Liljegren did jump up to an 81. Depth D, so that's good. His offensive stats are insane. 88s for offensive awareness and passing. And then his defense is 4 stars. 84 defensive awareness is not bad. I might change his role to offensive defenseman, just because if you look at his stats, there's no doubting that that's what he is. And then goaltending, Warner jumped up to a 79, and Rask dropped one to an 89. Is that Morale? No, not Morale. So that's probably just a little bit of regression starting for Tuukka Rask. And then Bernier is an 82. Same thing for him. All right, 4.5 mil cap space. Let's take a look at our lines. Don't know why it took me completely out of the screen. That's fine. So these are what the best lines look like, and that's leaving Pastrnak on the second line instead of Hosang. That's the decision we're gonna have to make. Which guy do we play top line? Which guy do we play second line? Like, do we balance out the wingers and leave the 89 with the 87 and the 2 88s together? Or do we just try to put the best lines together and the highest overalls in the higher spots? I don't know. We'll have to see. So Pavelski needs to switch with Hansel. Okay. All right. So that's what that looks like. I'll have to figure out what to do with DeBrusk and Fiala in terms of which guy goes on the left, which guy goes on the right. As they're both left-handed left wingers. Looking at it, I might leave DeBrusk over there because he has the better shot. So that's probably what I'll do. And then the fourth line of Roussel, Hansel, and JFK. Kind of unfortunate that we're playing JFK out of position, but when you have a center like Hansel instead, I'm not too concerned. Defense, that's what that looks like. So that's kind of what I was thinking going into the offseason. We have 3 left-handed guys on the left and 3 right-handed guys on the right. I think it's the first season we've had that so far. And then the only concern here is Mueller being a top 4 role, McAvoy being a top 6 role, and then having those guys switched. But I think I'd rather leave it like it is. Hopefully we can get some more growth from McAvoy during the season. I've kind of been waiting on him for a while. So that's what our lines are looking like. I will go do... I'll go fix up the special teams and the 4-on-4 stuff between videos, so you guys don't have to watch me do that. If you look at our overall numbers for like our bottom 6, they look a little bit worse than last season. And a second line center of only 85. Yeah, only 85. But I feel like this team is going to be better. Mainly because of our defense. So last year it looked like 89, 84, 86, 84, and then 81, 81. And this year it looks a lot better. So hopefully those guys can shore up our defensive play a little bit, and Rask can have a good season and try to go out on top. And then I feel like our forwards are not going to be an issue. We still have a pretty insane offense. And so yeah, I hope that's how that turns out. And then best lines in the AHL, put Heinz up there, Frolov up there, sure. Okay, we'll do that. I don't need Hyman to be having much NHL time or much ice time, so I'm not too concerned about him. Let's see, do we have anybody scratched that should not be scratched? Colin, he's medium AHL, and then Jerome, DJ Jerome is high AHL. So we can put them here on the 4th line. No big deal, as I struggle to find what I'm looking for. Okay, go down here, scratched, put in Colin, yep, okay. And then looking at our defense, we'll put Lilligan to the top. Oh yeah, I need to trade away Fleury and Grizzlick, and then I can call it a video. Okay, I'll go do that really quick. Fleury and Grizzlick, let's just see what we can get for those guys. Kind of unfortunate that Fleury did not turn out for us as a low elite potential, but maybe he'll have a little bit of trade value left. We couldn't really give him the ice time that he needed just because the guys we had ahead of him on our team, the young guys I should say that we had ahead of him on our team, were much better and higher potentials. So that's what they look like, and they'll be on their way out. We'll just see what we can get back. Look for a team that has the contract spots. Detroit. Let's see what Detroit has. I'm not sure if I should go for a prospect or picks, so we'll just look at both. Be cool if we get Bates, but probably not going to happen. Maybe a guy like Suglobov. The only bad thing about trading for prospects is that the teams sign them, and I'd rather leave them unsigned until they can contribute. They're not looking at trading their picks either. They're a rebuilder. No, they don't have the contract spots. You can still go trade for Backus. That'd be interesting. Not trading with the Habs. Fuck the Habs. Okay, so the Nashville Predators, could we get a second from them for this package? We could not, but let's see if we can throw in a little bit from our end to see if they will bite. Could trade them Joe Morrow too. That'd be funny. Trade 3 defensemen for a 2nd round pick. Where do we draft this guy? He was a 3rd round pick. Whatever. He's probably never gonna make it anyways, so that'll go through. So we picked up a 2nd for those scraps. Not too worried about that. And we just need to fix our AHL lines. And we'll call it a video, boys. So let me know what you think about our off season as a whole, and if you think we're improved, if you think we'll... Ah, fuck, I should best line, so I have to fix all this again. Let me know if you think that we are improved over last season. Let me know if you didn't like my moves, or if you did, or what you think about them. If I overpaid for somebody, if I underpaid, I don't know. Just whatever you want to say, go ahead and say it. As I fix these lines, I'm out of things to say. I just hope we do better this season. I feel like we're in a better spot than we were last season. I feel like defense might have been our only problem, and I addressed that as well as I could this off season. Okay, I believe we're set. So our AHL goaltending looks like this. Okay, so let me know what you think about this video, and as always, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe as well, so you'll know when we put out new videos for this series and others. Also, go check out the other series if you have not already. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Tune in next time to see how the first half of the season plays out, see if we do as well as I expect we will, and if we are going to start tearing it down, or if we're going to try to get to the cup. And I'll see you guys next time.